What's up guys, I'm Egomi and I'm about to show you my music production template. Alright, so as you guys know, I create in Cubase. Here's my template, so right as I open a project, this is what I see. I use Maschine, I have it routed inside of Cubase, so I have 16 options for sounds here just on this first group, and I route all of those to different outputs in Cubase. So for example, if in here I want to say load a sound, so I keep a bunch of sounds and I want to load a kick, for example, and this is just a kick that I've saved over time, you know, using it. I really liked this kick at one point, I saved it, and it saves with the EQ I like on it and everything. It saves at the level that I like, and it's routed out to this kick channel. And in the same way, I normally load up my snare on sound 5, and that's routed out to the snare channel. And likewise, hi-hat, cymbal, etc. I have options for 16 different sounds through Maschine. I really like doing this a lot because Maschine has a really cool setup. They have different effects and filters that I can apply to each of my drums. They even can emulate different drum machines. So I just like using Maschine a lot. That's why I prefer to do it, and I have it routed in Cubase, but whatever DAW that you're using, I'm sure it can be routed the same way. And then I have instruments and synths. So I have a bass track set up so that if I want to play electric bass, it already goes in, it has the plugins that I generally use. Sometimes I'll delete it and start from scratch, but same with electric guitar. If I record, then, you know, I have my plugins here that I generally will reach for. And so that just makes things quicker for me. I have a couple different empty tracks set up, that way I can just start a little quicker, and the same with the synths, I have some empty tracks. I have an 808 channel that already has some different plugins that I use, which, I mean, I just have like an EQ, which is, there's nothing going on, but, you know, just in case I need an EQ. And then I have this compressor, which is the supercharger. I like it. Honestly, I don't think I should be using it on this 808, but I have been using it on 808s, and I'll probably change that. So I wouldn't just like say, oh, Egomi uses supercharger on 808s, let me start doing it. Like, I'm probably going to change that compressor, honestly. But I do have an 808 channel set up. A lot of times I make my 808s in Maschine. So, you know, I'll open up Maschine and open up the sounds that I've saved, and I'll open up the 808s and I'll, you know, choose one of these. Recently, I've also been making my 808s in Serum. So in that case, I'll just choose Serum from my instruments list and load one from there. Then I have a folder for vocals, but I don't really have anything set up for vocals, honestly. That's one thing I want to change. I will be updating my template, and I'm sure that as I do, I'll make another video on it and update you guys. I do have a couple effect buses for like reverbs and delays, that way whenever I want to use them I can load them up. Right now everything is not set up, and I would like to set up a reverb that I really like and settings that I really like, but I haven't done that yet. And then the last thing that I do is I route everything, and I find this is really important, and it saves a lot of time for me with mixing. So for example, when I showed you how I loaded up that kick in Maschine before, it routes out to this channel in Maschine, or in Cubase, and then in Cubase it routes down to this kick bus. So now whenever I load a kick, it's automatically routed to my kick bus, and same with the snares, and same with other percussion. And all three of these route down to the drum bus. And on the drum bus, I have a slight bit of compression. I use, again, the Supercharger GT, which I just like this compressor, but it doesn't have to be this. And it's really light compression that I do from the start, like maybe 1 decibel of gain reduction. And honestly, I've started doing it, and I've done it a bit. I do really like compressing my drums. I think it's helped me having this on my template. But a lot of times I might go in and change the settings or whatever, and you know, you just mess around with it and see what you like. Most of the time I don't have anything on, like all these other buses, I don't have anything. The bass bus is the only other thing that I have something on, which I have a side chain compression on, which side chains from the kick. So the kick goes to this compressor so that my bass and 808s are side chained, and a lot of times I might even bypass this and not use it, but it's on there on my template just in case I need it. Again, I have a music template for all the other sounds, a drum, bass music, which everything leads into here, and then I have my vocals, which lead into Vox All, and then an effects for my effects go into that. But I'm a lot of times I change that. I don't actually route these through effects. I might route them through like my Voxall or something. But everything ends up coming into the mix bus. The mix bus right now, I have a maximizer on it. It's just Cubase stock maximizer. This is purely just for raising the level. I pretty much just raise it from, you know, maybe -10 or wherever the beat ends up being at to close to 0. I don't really have this plugin doing much as far as gain reduction wise, because I actually save all of that for the FabFilter Pro L, which I like a lot. I think you guys should get FabFilter if you don't already have it. I am a huge fan of all FabFilter plugins. I have their EQs and compressors. They're always my go-to. This just is a really good sounding limiter, and I have this set up with the different settings that I generally like for a limiter. And that is my template currently for making beats. I will be updating this template more. As I do, I'm sure I'll just make another video because there's a lot of updates that I want to do, but this template has worked me very well, and I've used it, you know, I used it all throughout House of Beats. I used it for, you know, the last year or so, and it's just been great for me. But I do have some ideas on improving my template, and I'm sure that when I do, I'll just make another update to this video and let you guys know. I hope you guys are learning something. If you are, be sure to like and subscribe and watch more videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.